All right, guys, this is the Rambler, and today we are going to be doing a review on the film Appendage. This movie was directed by Anna Zolufk. I'm 100% sure I said that wrong. All right, our main character's name is Hannah. We are shown early on in the scene that there's something going on with her body. Her body is pulsating at an extreme rapid rate, very unusual for a human. Right off the bat, the audience realizes that this is not going to be a normal appendage issue. This looks like some demon or alien type shit. We then meet the different side characters throughout the film. We meet her boyfriend. We also meet one of her best friends named Esther. Clearly, they are close. But while meeting these new characters, it's still early on in the film, and we are still seeing the pulsating movements coming out of her body. She also seems to be hiding this from her family, which is kind of strange because if you would experience that, I feel like the first thing I would say is, what the fuck? We are shown right away that our character seems to have issues when it comes down to putting herself out. We are shown that she works for, I guess, a fashion company where she does designs for a dress, and we are introduced to her boss. This guy fits the typical stereotype of over-eccentric, sort of kind of an asshole fashion manager, fashion boss. I'm not in the fashion industry, so I don't really know what to call it. We are also introduced to her family as well. We are introduced to her mother, who we can obviously see probably strikes a little nerve in her every once in a while. This is also when you notice the pulsating movements coming out of her body. The audience can tell right off the bat that the people in her life are clearly causing her stress, which could be the reason why her body is moving so rapidly like that. But again, this is still a strange occurrence. Usually a human's body doesn't move like that. I do like how the director is trying to bring the audience in early on, trying to show that this is not going to be a normal horror/comedy film. This is going to have symbolism, it's going to have meaning, and it's going to have you thinking after the end of the film, probably questioning your own life and decisions. So congratulations, director. You get a Rambler star. Is that enough clapping? Are you entertained? Later on, it is revealed what is giving her so much trouble and around her appendage area is actually a sort of creature. It eventually pops out. It's very small, almost human-like, but not human-like at all. So it starts to communicate with our main character, Hannah. Start trying to bring in its presence. This weird creature thing suggests that Hannah and the creature are part of the same, and that she is basically linked to her. She starts to get in her head. I should say that she's weak. I will say, however, it was a little strange how our main character was reacting to this whole occurrence. She seems too calm. I'm not sure if that's bad acting or maybe she's just trying to hint that the character is always holding so much in. Or it could be that our character is actually shown later on in the film to have drinking problems. Maybe she thinks she is just hallucinating from too much booze. The Henny God strikes again. She somehow knocks out the creature, which is very interesting. I don't know if I would knock that thing out. I mean, I guess that's the best solution, but I don't know. It just seemed to work too well. We start to realize that this character has, again, trust issues. Her best friend, Esther, and her boyfriend were, I believe, college best friends. So they have a close history. Esther introduced Hannah to her friend, and that is when they started dating. It is shown again that she is probably not 100% cool with it. It's clearly obvious she wants to say something about it, but she's holding it in too long. She doesn't want to cause a bother, clearly suggesting that the little creature monster has a point. The creature-like part of her, basically her clone, suggests that they are cheating, that they are sleeping behind her back, and that she should not trust them. Eventually, our character does what all characters do in a mystery sci-fi film. They go on Google and try to search what the fuck is going on. That is when we are shown a group of supporters who have gone through the same thing. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this whole group meetup is very sketchy in the beginning. There's only like 6 of them. Majority of people would probably be skeptical, but at the same time, how many little creatures come out of your goddamn appendix and they start talking to you and shit? So I guess she didn't really have too much of a choice. That is when we are shown Claudia, who introduced herself to Hannah. By the way, Claudia, the actress name is Emily Hampshire. She is a fan favorite in the TV show called 12 Monkeys. It's very interesting watching her character in this film. I'm getting a lot of Claudia vibes. For my 12 Monkey fans, you know what I'm talking about. By the way, that 12 Monkeys, TV discussion is definitely coming soon, so just wait for your boy. Anyway, we are also introduced to other characters who are going through the same. We meet the head person who I guess does all the group ups, the meetings. He comes off as a little strange, I'm not going to lie, a little sketchy as well, but he starts suggesting that these creatures are basically your twins. They're a part of you. These are the twins, they call it the DNA splice or some bullshit. Didn't really make too much sense, but I mean, that might be a thing in real life. We are shown that basically they try to get in your head. They use their psychotic powers because they're linked to you, and they try to make you weaker, question your decisions, so they can feed off your life energy. So again, it seems like the director is kind of saying that if you hide these feelings deep down and you don't confront them head on, if you don't confront situations that are bothering you, that you will become weaker to this negative energy. You will start to behave irrationally, which our character starts to do later on in the film. This is where the group kind of gets a little sketchy, right? He's done doing his presentation, bravo, bro. Even the character, I'm going to call her Claudia, I don't give a shit. Even she says this is his favorite part of the whole group up, clowning his ass. And I gotta say, when he's talking, you can get a look at the characters. There's this one random Mexican lady. She's kind of old, but she doesn't even look like she speaks English. Looks like she's just kind of nodding her head to what everybody's saying. Does she even know what's going on? After the end of the meeting, our mentor actually gives the shots to our character Hannah. He basically says it's gonna be 350. 350 Loch Ness Monster classic scene on South Park. Look it up. The main mentor guys suggest that our character can live a normal life as long as she takes this shots for 350. It suggests that it will quiet them down, quiet all the negative thoughts down. Because again, this creature-like twin feeds off of their energy. That's how it gets stronger. And our character leaves. Right before that, Claudia tries to ask to go hang out for coffee. I'm not gonna lie, it seems like Claudia is trying to make the moves on Hannah. Even Hannah picks up on this fact by her facial reaction. Eventually, she caves in and realizes, how weird can it get? There's a fucking creature that is trying to make you into a negative person. And people are claiming that it's your twin. That was never born. So maybe getting coffee with a potential lesbian is not that big of a deal. They eventually get close, and they start hanging out all the time. While this is going on, the relationship between Hannah, her boyfriend, and her best friend is deteriorating. We are shown one scene in the bar where it looks like her boyfriend is texting her best friend Esther. She sees about 7 messages. Of course, our character is filled with rage and jealousy, but she doesn't say anything. She just makes enough excuse to get out the bar and leaves. Again, showing our character has an issue with standing up for herself, or when it comes down to boundaries. Also, I do like how this film is bringing up a very interesting question. Can a relationship really exist like that without it bothering you? Sure, on one end you have your best friend Esther, who I'm pretty sure you trust with your life. And we are also shown that Esther does seem like a good friend throughout the film. But she has known this man also as long as you as well. And the person you are dating are really close. And they text behind your back and more than likely talk about your relationship because they are best friends as well. I assume the average person would eventually get annoyed. Which really brings up the question, can a relationship really just be built on extreme trust? Who knows? And I love Doctor. Just really thought it was kind of interesting. That is, again, where we see her twin starting to get in her head, suggesting that nobody really cares about her and that they're cheating. We are then shown that Claudia actually has an idea, a theory, I might add. She suggests that before giving these shots to their little twin creatures that will sedate them, that if you do not sedate them right away and you talk to them, they will be able to tell the truth or be able to figure out the future, basically. She suggests that one night before sedating her thing, she got some answers out of them. She says that her twin suggested that her husband at the time was cheating, or ex-boyfriend, I believe, and that they're eventually going to have a kid, which came out to be true. This also could be a coincidence, but also there's a big-ass creature/twin thing literally talking to her, so who knows? Also, I forgot to add, too, while in the meeting, they suggest to not tell anybody, or people will think you crazy. That is when we are shown a scene where her boyfriend, Hannah's, comes over to try to talk everything out and to see how everything's going. Of course, he is worried about his woman. I mean, she has been acting batshit crazy recently, failing on plans. When he was trying to bring an intimate situation, talking about his mother, she runs off because he was trying to get a little freaky, a little frisky, and almost touch her little boil area. I'm not gonna lie, that shit was nasty. He tells her that she can tell him anything, that he will always be there for her. I do like the character of Hannah's acting ability. You see for a quick second that she almost believes him, and she really wants to. This scene is very similar to the Captain America Winter Soldier scene where we have Scarlett Johansson and Chris Evans talking in their bedroom. As in that scene, we finally get to see a glimpse of Black Widow finally being vulnerable and opening up. Basically saying that I believe this person, that they trust me. So that's what our main character Hannah does. She trusts her boyfriend and starts to spill the beans. Right off the bat, she sounds like a crazy lady, psycho lady/cat lady. This is, of course, what the group tried to warn her of not doing, because they said they would lock her up in a crazy person's home. A loony ward, how they used to say it back in the day. Of course, the boyfriend reacts as if she has gone batshit crazy. But I will say he kind of reacted a little weird at first. I mean, of course, yeah, you understand that what she was saying, talking about something grew out of me, and let me show you it's in the basement. Like, that would kind of make you think, like, yo, what the fuck? But he didn't even go check. He was just like, what are you talking about? You're not making sense. Basically, what I'm saying is the actor kind of reacted kind of badly, honestly, in the beginning. Didn't seem very natural. But, of course, our character starts to freak out and kicks him out and takes away her key. Even though I spoiled a good amount of the movie, I do not want to spoil too much, so I just want to leave off on this one part before I let y'all go. There's a scene where she is talking to her mother after looking really rough. This scene follows her after she snaps on two of the closest people in her life. She just finally kicked the boyfriend to the curb, and there was a scene where she was talking to her best friend Esther, basically telling her to leave her alone, and she has no idea what she is talking about. Also, as the audience, we can tell that this is truly getting to her. She has gotten weak, and her twin/creature is growing by the day. So we get the scene of the mother calling her, asking her for help. Of course, Hannah has a lot going on in her life, so she is confused about what's going on. That is when the mother suggests that Hannah is off that yak. And she starts to get frustrated with her own daughter. Starts to just why is she acting like this? Basically, why can't she be normal? It is very interesting. Hannah has snapped on the two before, but even though she wants to snap on her mother, she doesn't quite do it yet. She obliges and says that she will help her mother, even though there is a literally creature/twin on the loose. When she gets to the place, the mother thanks her, says thank you for coming through. But it's very interesting while talking to the mother, even though she's being very calm, her tremors start to happen, even though the creature has already left her body. Her body starts pulsating again, suggesting that she is not handling pressure too well around her mother, and that she's getting annoyed. That is when we see our character plead to her own mother and suggest that everything's not okay. We see her mother trying to not really pay too much attention to her, not really make eye contact with her, almost as if she's fed up with her own daughter's silliness. That is when we finally see the mother snap on her daughter and tells her that why is she always like this? That is when the mother tells the story that when she was in high school, Hannah's drinking problems had gotten out of control, that she was on suicide watch in the hospital after her accident. Her mother suggests that that scared her for life and scarred her, and that now, thanks to her, she is always on the edge. You can tell that the mother has issues going on with her own self. She's making it all about herself, but at the same time, she does have a good point. I would assume as a parent watching your child be in the hospital almost on life support, you would feel like deep down that your kid let you down. That is when our main character, Hannah, says, well, how would you feel if she was in her position? How would you feel if you were so hurt you couldn't do anything about it? Basically acting as humans don't go through that every day. That is when the mom drops the bombshell and says she can never see herself like that because she's not fucked up. My mouth dropped while watching this scene. I haven't seen such a character dynamic between mother and daughter portrayed like that in such a long time. It was great directing and it was great acting. So bravo, we got another Rambler clap going for you. All right, guys, so I want to end on that note. I know I spoiled a lot, but I kind of get ahead of myself sometimes. But I do want you to watch the movie. I would rate this movie 7.5 out of 10. I was very entertained, and I definitely suggest this for a good Halloween flick. So the Rambler approves of the movie Appendage, so go watch it. All right, I'll see you next video, my Ramblites.